Y nos estamos metiendo en los últimos 15 minutos de partido. ¡Se viene golazo! Cristiano con un zapatazo maravilloso.
Un ritmo de juego tratando de defender ese gol de diferencia es muy poco.
Y está para el empate.
Buena reacción bajo palos.
¡Gol! Puede llegar al empate. ¡Travesaño! Uno de los defensores y se pierde por el fondo. ¡Travesaño! ¡Ah, no! Si es que están con el enemigo en su propio
Yo,
equipo.
gentle gamers, if you've logged into FC Mobile over the last 48 hours, played some head-to-head matches, and thought to yourself, what on earth did EA do to my players? Trust me, you are not alone. EA just dropped the world's game update. And honestly, the entire community is confused right now because gameplay feels very different. Some playstyles suddenly feel stronger, while others feel completely dead. Your favorite skill moves? Slower? Your high-rated defenders? Clunkier. Your goalkeeper blind. Your pinpoint passing? Sometimes genuinely sluggish. And now everybody is asking the same question. Did EA actually buff some playstyles, or did they secretly nerf everything? Because after playing a lot of H-to-H matches since this update dropped, I've definitely noticed some major gameplay changes. Some players are suddenly dominating after the update, while others can barely win matches anymore. So today, we're doing a completely honest breakdown of this update. We'll talk about how the hidden playstyles mechanic may have completely flipped the meta, what feels buffed, what feels nerfed, and whether this update actually improved the game, or completely ruined it. Now let's get into it. Alright guys, let's talk about the biggest gameplay change in this update, playstyles. Now if you've played the console version of FC before, you already know what playstyles are. They're basically special abilities that give certain players unique strengths and animations on the pitch. The idea itself is actually very good. Instead of every player feeling the same and only being separated by OVR, players can now feel more unique and realistic. And no, I'm not going to sit here and explain all 18 playstyles one by one because that's not what this video is about. What this video is about is how playstyles have changed gameplay. Because, let's be honest, this is probably the biggest reason why so many people feel like everything got nerfed. EA introduced 18 playstyles split into silver and gold tiers. Sounds great, right? The problem is that a lot of older cards suddenly don't feel as special as they used to. Now, I'm not saying EA officially nerfed every old card in the game, but what I am saying is that many actions that used to feel normal now feel much better when a player has the right playstyle attached to them. For example, if your midfielder has amazing passing stats but doesn't have the bullet pass playstyle, his driven passes might not feel as sharp as someone who does. If your winger has great crossing stats but lacks whipped cross, his deliveries may not feel as dangerous as a player with that playstyle. And that's why so many players logged in after the update and immediately felt like something was off. The frustrating part is that not everybody has a squad full of these new cards yet. A lot of us spent weeks grinding for our current teams, learning how those players move, pass, shoot, and defend. Then this update arrives and suddenly some of those cards don't feel quite the same anymore. Do I think playstyles are a bad idea? Absolutely not. In fact, I think playstyles are one of the best long-term additions EA has made, because they add more depth to squad building and make players feel different from each other. But the downside is that they instantly increase the value of cards that have them, and make some older cards feel outdated much faster than people expected. And because of that, the actual gameplay on the pitch feels completely different now. So let's move away from playstyles for a moment and talk about what changed in the gameplay itself. Because defending and passing definitely don't feel the same anymore. Alright guys, let's get into the heavy stuff first. Defending feels completely different. Now I'm not going to lie to you, defending is probably the biggest change I've noticed since this update dropped. Before this update, if an attacker was driving towards your box, you could simply position your defender properly, hold the sprint and tackle button, and most times your defender would aggressively lock onto the ball and try to win it back. But after this update, it doesn't feel the same anymore. A lot of times now, my defender seems more focused on containing the attacker and covering space instead of instantly diving into tackles. There have been so many situations where I'm pressing the tackle button expecting my defender to attack the ball, but instead he's just staying in front of the attacker and giving him room. And honestly, it's been causing me some really frustrating goals lately. Now don't get me wrong, this doesn't necessarily mean defending is impossible. It just means defending requires more manual control than before. And if you're somebody who relied heavily on auto-defending, you're probably struggling right now. I genuinely think this update rewards patient manual defending much more than aggressive tackle spamming. And then we have the goalkeepers, bro. Am I the only one who feels like goalkeepers forgot how to save shots after this update? Because right now my #1 rule in H2H is simple. Do not let your opponent shoot. Seriously, some of the goals I've conceded recently have been absolutely crazy. Once the attacker gets a clean shot on target, it feels like the keepers just are for decoration. Now maybe we'll adapt over time. Maybe EA will tweak things in future updates. But right now defending definitely feels harder than it did before. And here's where playstyles come back into the conversation. Because if you're using defenders without defensive playstyles against attackers who have powerful attacking playstyles, the difference becomes even more noticeable. Those attackers feel quicker, sharper, and much harder to stop in one-on-one situations. Another thing I've noticed is that even after winning tackles, the ball doesn't always stay with the defender. Sometimes you make the perfect challenge, and the ball immediately bounces straight back to the attacker. That has probably been one of the most frustrating parts of this update for me. So overall, defending definitely feels weaker, goalkeepers feel less reliable. And manual defending is more important than ever. EA, please fix this for the players without playstyles, because the majority of the community doesn't have a full squad of them yet. But don't worry guys, in future videos I'll show you exactly how I've been adjusting my defending since this update. Because if this is the new gameplay, then we would have to adapt to this mess. Alright guys, let's move into the next one. The midfield and build-up. The good and the sluggish. And honestly, this is one area where I have to give EA some credit because not everything in this update is bad. In fact, one of my favorite changes so far is the passing. The ball movement itself actually feels faster and smoother than before. Whether your player has playstyles or not, passes travel across the pitch much quicker and cleaner. Ground passes feel sharp, switching play feels nice, and moving the ball around the field is honestly enjoyable. So credit where it's due. EA definitely improved the passing itself. But now here's where the problem starts. The ball is moving faster, but the players receiving it don't feel fast enough. And that's what's making the build-up feel weird right now. Have you ever played a perfect pass, and then your player takes a touch that looks like he's never seen a football before? Because that's happening way too often after this update. Sometimes you play a simple pass into midfield, and before your player can properly control the ball, an opponent is already tackling him. The first touches feel heavier, reactions feel slower, and because of that, quick one-touch football doesn't feel as smooth as it's supposed to. Now it feels like every player needs an extra moment to process what's happening before reacting. So while the passing itself is faster, the overall build-up can still feel sluggish, because the player reactions aren't keeping up with the speed of the ball. Now let's talk about through balls. From my experience, through balls actually feel more accurate now, especially when they're played by midfielders with strong passing attributes or passing-related playstyles. The problem is that long through balls are much riskier than before. If you force them too often, they get intercepted much more easily. Honestly, if EA could slightly improve player reactions and first touches, this midfield gameplay would be incredible. Because the passing foundation is already there. The ball moves well, the build-up ideas are there. The midfield feels more involved. The players just need to react a little quicker. Fix that one thing, and I genuinely think midfield play could become one of the best parts of this update.
Ahí está este equipo. Ahí está y se adelantan. ¡Gol!
Now let's talk about attacking, because honestly, attacking in FC Mobile feels like a completely different game after this update. And yes, I know I'm about to hurt some feelings with this one, but EA actually did us a favor by nerfing the step over exit, and I genuinely like this change. Before the update, skill move spamming, especially step over, was getting completely out of control. The moment you matched someone using Vinicius, Rafinha, Best, Hazard, or any speed dribbler, you already knew what was coming. Just step over every single time. Bro, it was getting ridiculous. Some players weren't even trying to build attacks anymore. They were just abusing the same speed boost over and over until they got through. And let's be honest, it was incredibly difficult to defend, so credit to you here. Step overs and elasticos still work, but now they feel much more balanced. You can still beat defenders with them, but you don't get that crazy, unrealistic speed burst every single time. I know the skill move spammers are punching the air right now, but overall I think this change makes the game healthier. Now because of that, dribbling feels heavier in tight spaces. It's clear EA wants players to focus more on build-up play and decision-making instead of simply sprinting in a straight line. But there is one thing that genuinely needs fixing immediately. Joystick dribbling. EA, what happened? Simple turns don't feel as responsive as they should. Sometimes it feels like your player is fighting against the joystick instead of listening to it. So while I agree with slowing down skill move spam, I definitely think joystick dribbling needs improvement. Now for the counterattackers, relax, counterattacking is not dead. You can still counter. You can still run at defenders. You can still use step overs, elasticos, lane changes, and quick transitions. The difference is that now you need better timing and decision making. Instead of mindlessly spamming skill moves, you have to pick the right moments. And honestly, that's not a bad thing. Now here's the part that worries me. Cross spamming. Guys, I am not joking when I say I've already conceded way too many goals from crosses since this update dropped. And that's before most people even have full squads with crossing-related playstyles. So imagine what happens when everybody starts getting cards with gold crossing traits. Cross spammers might absolutely love this update, and that's what scares me. Because I understand EA is trying to make football more realistic, and crossing is a real part of football. But I really hope it doesn't become the next broken mechanic everybody starts abusing. On the bright side, regular through passes feel fantastic. They're accurate, rewarding, and much more reliable than before. That's another area where I think EA deserves credit. And finally, let's talk about shooting. Now this might be my most unpopular opinion in the entire video. Everybody is saying shooting got ruined, but honestly, I think the shooting nerf is actually good. Before this update, people could stand in ridiculous positions, fill the power bar completely, and somehow score every single time. Finesse shots from impossible angles, full power shots from terrible positions, goal. It didn't matter where you were. Now you actually have to think before shooting. You need better positioning, better timing, better shot selection. And to me, that's much more realistic. Yes, you'll miss chances sometimes, but if you learn the new shooting mechanics and adapt, you'll still score consistently, especially because goalkeepers already feel weaker than before. And the best part? This applies to everybody. Even if you're using Ronaldo, Messi, or any top-tier card with playstyles, bad shots will still miss. So for all my FTP brothers out there, don't panic. This update isn't automatically against us. We just need to adapt faster than everybody else. And trust me, we'll figure it out together. So after everything we've talked about, what's my final verdict on the World's Game update? Honestly, I think it's a good update, but it's also one of the biggest gameplay adjustments we've had in a long time. And that's why so many people are struggling right now. This update clearly rewards patient players, tactical players, and people who are willing to build attacks properly instead of forcing everything forward. If your entire gameplay was built around abusing pace, spamming stepovers, or relying on broken mechanics, then yeah, you're probably having a rough time. But that doesn't mean your playstyle is dead. It just means you have to adapt. Counterattacks still work. Skill moves still work. Fast football still works. You just need better timing, better decision-making, and a little more patience than before. And honestly, that's why I don't think this update ruined the game. I think EA is trying to push FC Mobile closer to real football. Did they get everything right? Absolutely not. EA, if you're somehow watching this video, we still need some serious fixes. Please fix joystick dribbling. Please improve player reactions after receiving passes. Please balance defending a little better. And please give the goalkeepers a brain. Because right now some of these keepers are just spectators with gloves. But despite all that, I still think this update has potential. The gameplay feels different. The meta is changing. and the players who adapt the fastest are going to benefit the most. And don't worry, guys, I'll be adapting alongside you. Over the next few weeks, I'll be testing formations, tactics, playstyles, defending methods, attacking patterns, and everything else this update changes so I can help you guys adjust faster. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think playstyles made the game better or worse? Do you think EA improved gameplay, or do you think they completely ruined it? Let me know down in the comments because I genuinely want to hear your experiences with this update. And remember, guys, at the end of the day, it's just a game. We're all here to have fun, learn, compete, and enjoy ourselves, so disagree with me if you want. Just keep it respectful and let's have a proper discussion. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and turn on notifications because we've got a lot of update-related content coming very soon. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. It's your boy, Gentle Joe. Peace.